Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I thought I'd do a nail set video for you guys. This one is inspired by Five Nights at Freddy's 2. I hope you enjoy this video. I'm really excited to show you what I came up with, so let's just get straight into it. So I've already picked out and prepped my nail tips, and now I'm just going to put a coat of the McCart base coat on there. So these are the gels that I'm going to be using as a base. This rubber base coat from Miss Queen, 891 from Beetles, Noir and Blanc from McCart, and 84 from Canny. So this is what we're working with after one coat. I'm just going to go ahead and cure them and then do another. So I'm just mixing up now my base colour for the marionette. I'm using some of that white from McCart and a cream from Beetles. I did digitally draw out a reference picture for each nail that I wanted to do, especially with the hand-drawn art. I'll put that up on the screen so that you can sort of follow along with what I'm doing and see what part of it that I'm doing. So you can see that I did change the shape a couple of times just to perfect it. So I'm just going to go ahead and cure that and then do another layer. So now that that's all done, I'm just popping a matte top coat on there from Beetles. I do find it easier to work on a matte base rather than a glossy base when I'm doing fine lines. So I've just mixed up my palette. I'll pop the shade names on screen. Next up, I'm just doing the mouth. I did use a really fine dotting tool to do this. I did try using a fine liner brush, but it didn't come out as good as I wanted it to. So I thought with the dotting tool, I could make it a little bit more even, which I did, and it turned out perfect. So once I'd got the basic shape that I wanted down with the dotting tool, I did go back in with that fine liner brush just to clean everything up and make sure all the lines were straight. So I did do the second coat of the mouth off camera, and I also started the eye, just because I had to get it really close to my face and it was difficult to do that while still keeping it in camera. So now that I've got the base down for the face, I'm just taking that purple from To Be Glam and I'm just creating the teardrop, just a line connecting from the eye to the mouth. And then going in with that really bright red from Canny, I'm just doing all the other details to the cheek and the lips. So now we're moving on to Toy Bonnie. I'm just using that same shade that I did for the marionette, and I'm just creating sort of like an oval in the middle of the nail to symbolise that part of his chest. So just like before, I did do 2 coats of this, curing in between. And this is what it turned out like. Moving on to Freddy, I'm just putting a coat of that matte top coat on again. You may have noticed with the black and the white there was a little bit of bubbling in the paint. It's mainly because I had to keep changing the black and white polish to find one that wasn't peeling because it just wasn't curing. So I've just set out my palette. I'm using 3 browns from the Cozy Cashmere collection from Beetles, and I'm just mixing up those first 2 colours just to get the perfect colour for the base of him. So just like the marionette, I did do a reference drawing for this one as well. So I have got that off to my side just to make sure that I've got everything down to how I like it. Again, just going in with another layer of matte top coat. So just starting out with the cheeks, I'm just using a dotting tool just to round it out and make it how I want it to be. It doesn't really matter whether it looked perfect anyway because I do have to cover half of it later on. Now I'm just using that first shade of brown, that lighter brown on my palette, just to do all of the other details. So I'm going to stop talking and I'm just going to let you watch it. Now I'm marking out where the hollow of his mouth is going to be, and I'm just trying to fill that in as best as I can. So now I'm just mixing up some silver spider gel and some gel from Beetles. This is A172. And this is going to be the little wire part for his ear where it connects to his head. So now that I've got the basic shape of everything down, I'm just going to start with his hat. So I'm just using that Macart black and I'm drawing a strip at the top of his head and then extending that up to the top of the nail. And now I'm just going back in with that red from Canny and I'm creating the ribbon on his hat. So now I'm just doing all the tiny little details, his eyebrows, all the lining that I need to do in his eye. So I'm just going to let you watch that. It is pretty self-explanatory. So this is the final look of how the base came out. I'm so happy with the way that it turned out. I'm just going to do all the highlights now and then we're going to top coat it and move on to the next one. So now I'm moving on to the cheek nail. I'll put a photo up of the reference that I drew for that. As you'll see on there, I did draw out the cupcake, but I ended up not doing that. I drew it out, well, I created it, and then I decided that I wasn't going to use it. So that is on the reference because I was planning on doing that, but I didn't in the end. So I've just laid out my palette. I'll put the shade names on the screen. With this, I decided to try the green that I got from my Temu haul. So I'm just creating teeny tiny little triangles on the little white part that I've done on the bib with those neon colours. Just sort of like a terrazzo effect, I suppose. And then I quickly did the thumb off camera. I just did a regular French tip, and then I did some checkerboarding on there as well. So this is what they're looking like so far with all the bases and the colours down. I'm so happy with how they turned out. So going back to that thumb, I'm just going to mix some of this glitter. This is Oak from Twinkle Claws. I believe that it's no longer sold because I can't find it on the website. And I'm going to mix it with a little bit of this pigment. This is number 3 from Beauty 1999. I'm going to mix them together with some top coat. I'm just using my Carte top coat. So I'll put the picture on screen of what I sort of took inspiration from this for. But because I didn't have a brown glitter, I decided to go for the more dirty, bloody look instead of just pure dirt. So I'm just separating the glitter sort of so that I've got more smaller pieces than I have got bigger pieces. So I'm just going to put a little bit of this on the palette as well with the glitter. I did use a bit too much. You'll see when I mix it with the top coat, it didn't really do anything. It didn't make it like as clear as I wanted it, so I did have to put some more top coat in there. Then I decided to mix in just a little bit of that light brown from earlier, just to sort of dull down the orangeness of it because it was a bit too orange for me. I wanted it to be a little bit more like muted. And then I'm just lightly painting that on around the smile line and like tapping that out with my finger and blending it with a really thin brush. I'm just dragging it down sort of like to make it look a bit stained and just blending it out up toward the top of the French tip. So I could have just left it there, but I did want to give it a bit more definition. I'm just using 1577 from Miss Queen, just mixing it in with that glitter to make it a little bit more of like a blood red. And then I did decide to put a tiny little bit of this red from Canny in there just to make it a bit more vibrant. So I'm just thinning that colour out just a little bit, and I'm doing the exact same technique that I did with the orange. I did cure once I'd put the orange on where I wanted it. This red, I'm sort of like making it more patchy and splodgy rather than blending it and making it look, you know, nice. So once I'd got that to how I wanted it and cured it, I went ahead and put another matte top coat over the top of everything. I did find on a couple of the nails that the matte top coat made some of the colours bleed. I don't mind, but it is a little bit annoying because it does affect the way that they turn out at the end. So now moving on to the 3D aspect, I wasn't too sure whether I wanted to go with a solid builder gel or a poly gel. In the end, I didn't choose either of them. I went with my Viscovy solid builder gel. I got this from Temu and I have already tried this and I think it's brilliant. So I'm just going to pull some of this out. I know that I'm working with my hands and I shouldn't really, but I did sanitize and wash my hands after every piece was done. So I'm just shaping everything out into the shape of Bonnie's guitar. I'll leave a photo up of how it's supposed to look on the screen and you can just follow along and see what I'm doing. So now I'm just going in with a hand file. This is 100-180 from Beetles. I didn't necessarily want to pull my drill out if I didn't have to, but I did choose to in the end just because it made everything a little bit easier for me. So I'm just going in with this flat drill bit. It's just like a flat piece of metal. If you haven't got one of these, I would definitely recommend getting one. This has saved me so many times. It's one of my most used drill bits. I'll link everything that I used, including this, down below. So if you want to get yourself one, you can. So now that I've got those all foiled and smoothed out, I've just pulled out the colours that I'm going to use, and I'm just going to start painting them. I'm just starting off with the base of the guitar, doing this in that same canny red, just so it matches everything and it looks all cohesive when the set is done. So once I'd put the base colour on all of those and cured them, I just went in and did all the little fine details, all the small details. So here's all the pieces all painted and finished. Going back in with that silver spider gel, I'm just creating the strings for the guitar. And once they're all painted and cured, I'm just going in with some rhinestone glue just to stick all three pieces together. And once I've got them all in place, I just flash cured that with my UV flashlight and then put them under my LED lamp to cure completely. So I thought I did this on camera, but apparently not, because I can't find the footage. I did use that rhinestone glue as a top coat instead of a regular top coat, just to make sure that the pieces weren't going anywhere. So I'm just getting the thumbnail now and keeping everything matte. However, I'm just going over where I'd put the red and the orange with a glossy top coat, just to make it more three-dimensional and to stand out a little bit more. And lastly, I'm just figuring out where I want that guitar to go on the nail, and then I'm using that rhinestone glue again just to glue it on and secure it. And then once again with my matte top coat, just going around where I'd put that rhinestone glue, just so that the nail can stay matte and the guitar can stay glossy. And that is the finished nail set. I am so happy with how they turned out. Now I'm just going back in with that solid builder gel. I have put a peel off base coat on, and I'm going to glue these nails on with that builder gel and cure them. So this is how the final nail set came out. I'm so happy with how they turned out. I think they came out really well and I did have so much fun creating these nails. So that is some cuticle oil. This is just lavender. So I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. If you do have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments for me. If you did enjoy this video, please subscribe to my channel. I'd love to have you here. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.